Hi there, Simon here. I don't know about you, but I find January's it can be a confusing and a bit of a frustrating month. You know, you see all this stuff on TV and other people saying they got all these resolutions they want to put in place in January, but we never really, or a lot of people never really get started with it properly because we're still limiting ourselves and believing the bullshit story that other people tell us and that we tell ourselves. I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else. You know, throughout my life, I've had all sorts of shit go on, self-inflicted, mostly because I signed up to do jobs that put me in difficult positions. Loved it, challenged me, stressed me out, pushed me to my limits, and kept expanding my limits and my boundaries. So I forever growing, which is the nice way to look back on it. It's a great reframe for shitty situations in your life, you know. And on the back of it, I've had battle with PTSD, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I've felt sad, lonely, misunderstood, angry, quite often at myself for wallowing in this bubble of self-pity and misery and self-deprecation, which is great for a while because it feels comfortable and it feels safer to be in that shithole. But it gets boring, it gets frustrating, you get sick of it. And I read and see and hear so much of other people doing the same things that I've done. And it's kind of human nature. We set ourselves challenges for January, to these New Year's resolutions, without really properly planning and sorting out what it is we need to do to support that and back it up. So we kind of, a lot of the time, we set ourselves up to fail, which is fucking ridiculous when you think about it. Why set yourself a challenge deep down you're never really prepared for, so you're never going to achieve it, or not to the same level as you could do? And the thing is that there's benefits to this bubble of misery and self-pity. You know, we get empathy, we get sympathy. It feels good to feel shit sometimes because it's a bit of the devil, better the devil you know. And there's secondary gains because people do stuff for us. If it's because we're in too much pain, or we're just reclusive because we're depressive and sad and miserable and just it's no good for you or anybody else. And I know you know this, but the thing is, if we don't push ourselves, life's boring. Life's meant to be lived and fulfilled, and living in this kind of constant quagmire of misery and shit and negativity, it becomes fucking boring, really boring. And you never achieve anything, you never get the enjoyment out of life. It's so much harder. And when you're like that, you really weigh down other people. So I'm sure you've got friends who are more positive and upbeat most of the time. Nobody ever is permanently. That's just weird. That's drugs do that. We can't do that as a human being permanently. It just doesn't work like that. But the thing is, you can't be happy all the time, and thinking that and looking for a way to be happy outside of yourself is the wrong path. The only person that can make you happy is you, by making choices and decisions and changing things that need to be changed. And we have, despite what we think and despite the bullshit story we're telling ourselves at the time and all the negative shit that we get fed from other people, we have choices at every stage of life, no matter what's going on. Whether it's choices that we can make to change things outside of ourselves, or more often, 100% of the time, we can make changes within ourselves to help us become happier overall. And there's lots of things you can do to get rid of the negative shit in life, first and foremost. Whether that's people, thoughts, drugs, alcohol, your job, where you're living, whatever it is you can do. And it may take longer, but start making the changes you need to do. And a big thing is working on changing your negative thoughts. When you're thinking negatively in black and white and catastrophically all the time, it weighs you down. It's like a huge, great big anchor on your back. and you can't move away. You need to cut away that anchor, and beginning that starts in here, changing your thoughts, the way you think. If you're thinking negatively all the time, start practicing flipping it. What's the complete polar opposite of it? Go from one extreme to the other. And somewhere in between there will actually be what the current situation is. If you're taking drugs, whether it's prescription or recreational, what impact are they having on your mind and your body? Alcohol's the same. Yes, it's fine to have a few drinks here and there, but drinking every day and a lot every day, becoming you may be bordering being an alcoholic and not realize it or not admit it. Your job. Are you getting up every day thinking, fuck, I hate this shit. I don't want to go to work. I don't like where I work. I don't like who I work for. I don't even like who I work with. Time to make a change. And understanding and accepting that you can't be happy all the time. It's impossible. It's like striving for perfection. Perfection is an impossibility because there are always something you could do to improve. It's like chasing the end of the rainbow. You never get there. It's much more practical to strive for excellence in everything you do. And that level of excellence may change depending on how much you can commit or put into it, or what is actually required. So excellence is a sliding scale. Other things, simple things, eat well. You don't have to, it doesn't mean counting calories, and it's just changing portion size, eating a little healthier, cutting out certain things that you know are not as good for you as you could be. They don't make you feel good. Eat foods that fuel your body and your brain. That way you are kind of running on your optimum every day, or aiming more to building up towards that if your diet has been, or your nutrition that you've been eating has been kind of a bit off plan. Exercise consistently, whether that's 10 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. But consistency and continuity of exercise, it helps flush the crap out your body, out your mind. You get oxygen to every cell in your body, which is mildly beneficial, to put it, slight understatement. So, and the more consistently you exercise, the better you eat, the better you sleep. And sleep is massively important. When you don't sleep well, if you're a poor sleeper, you'll wake up more, you'll get up more tired than when you went to bed. You'll have low energy. Your oxygen levels will be lower. You'll be building up the stress hormones in your body, and over a long period of time, if you've got low levels of stress, over a long period of time, it builds up and builds up and builds up. So you end up with your constant stress levels get higher and higher and higher. And that's really, really detrimental to your physical and mental health. I've always looked at life's a game with ever-changing rules. They're never set in concrete, and they change when you don't expect them to. And they don't even tell you when they're going to change. And it's about learning to read the game, your game of life, and being able to make excellent swags as about what to do next in your life. And for those of you who don't know what a swag is, it's a sophisticated wild-ass guess. Okay? Sometimes maybe you call it an educated guess, but sometimes they're educated, sometimes they are just a sophisticated wild-ass guess, because you don't really know what the hell's going to happen. You're just trying to predict in the best way possible from the information you've got and your experience. And life is about building up that experience so that you can make educated guesses and excellent swags. So a lot of little pointers, a little refreshers for a lot of people. I've got tips and tricks to work on this, because this is the most important thing. It's important to spend time on you every day and work on this more than the body. If you work on your mind, your brain, everything else will fall into place, because the body will not go in the right direction if this has not been changed and set to how you want it to be. This is the operating system. If this is fucked, so is this. So work on your mind every single day, 10 minutes every morning. whether it's meditate, self-hypnosis, reading, listening to a podcast, motivational, inspirational podcast, whoever you want to listen to that you find the most inspirational, motivational for you. Listen to it for at least 10 minutes every morning before you go to work. When you get up in the morning, have it on your smartphone, your iPod, whatever. Put the kettle on. Listen to 10 minutes. You can listen to it while you're making your tea or coffee, while you're making your breakfast, if you have breakfast. And just take that time for you to set your brain on the right path from the very beginning of each day. Set that, if nothing else, have that as your New Year's resolution, to spend 10 minutes while you're pottering about the house in the morning, getting dressed, getting breakfast, getting tea and coffee. Do this for you. Fuck anybody else. Be very selfish and do this for you in the morning. Even if it means you get up 10 minutes earlier, that's nothing. But focus on working on your mind, your brain, getting yourself on the right path, and everything else will start to fall into place over the next few days, weeks and months of this year. And by this time next year, by applying just this one simple thing, you'll find you'll have made lots of small incremental changes that amount to a huge, significant positive change for you. So, any questions, please fire them down below. Happy to answer any questions at any point, and any feedback, comments, thoughts. Love to hear from you. My name's Simon Marin, and have a fantastic day, and see you next time.